Well, hello everybody. I'm in the grow room, as you no doubt can see by this foil contraption behind me here. I'll give you a little update on how some of the things under lights are progressing in here. I've also candled the quail eggs, and I want to show you what one of those looked like when I candled it. And to close this little video off, the hens are finally able to get out in free range. We have still got a lot of snow on the ground, but there's enough cleared areas that they're having a great time. So I'll do a little clip of them at the end of the video. So let's have a look at a few clips here of some of the plants under lights. Well, this is the Ruby Streaks mustard, and supposed to be mild, that you can use it in salads. Also supposed to have ruby streaks, obviously, in the leaves. If I look really closely in places, I can see some red, but as I've said before, under these grow lights, excuse me, I don't seem to get red to develop. It's just the green. It will have its red once it gets outside. Anyway, I have tasted it a couple of times, and at least in here under lights, it's not all that strong. It has a nice little zip to it. It'd be something nice to add to a salad. These are the salanova mixture of three different kinds, or two or three different kinds of salanova lettuce. And I'm not sure, of course, if I have three different kinds or only one kind in these pots, because it was a package with a variety of the seed pellets in. They seem to me to be growing very slowly, but at least they are growing. And I evidently probably won't outgrow these pots before I'm able to get them out into the hoop house. These are some of the tomatoes, I guess. Example of all of the tomatoes now, 5 different varieties. 32 is Defiant. That's a Italian sauce tomato. And Defiant isn't a sauce tomato, excuse me. 33 Roma is an Italian sauce tomato. And this is the F1 hybrid or F2 hybrid Monticello, which I had paid a lot of money for the seed. The first batch that I planted, I got nothing. And so I planted all the seed that I had left. And the whole envelope was probably only 20 seeds. Well, finally I have 4 plants, and they're getting to the point where they're going to have to be into individual pots soon. And thank you very much, Brendan. Baking Soda sent me 2 different varieties from Ireland. This I grew last year from seed over here, so I'm anxious to see if there's any difference in them, but this is Gardener's Delight. And this one is called Britain's Breakfast, and so far I just have one of Britain's Breakfast up, and I think that probably just came up today, so perhaps the others will be up soon. I think I sprinkled in about the same amount of seeds in both of them, and they're further behind than the others because I've just planted them. This is the little green globe basil that I sent seeds out to a number of people and had replies back from you saying that you received them, so I hope yours have germinated by now. I haven't pruned this at all. I'm so impressed with this little plant. That's the growth form. That's how it grows into this lovely little cushion. And again, I don't think it's root bound or anything, so it'll be all right until I get it out into the hoop house. I have pinched a leaf off and eaten it, and it has a fine basil flavor. None of the exotic ones that have, lemon flavors and all that. It's more like the Genovese, the Italian basil. But I'm so impressed with the growth habit of it. And Elise, these are my 4 espalette peppers, all getting their several sets of true leaves. They've been slow to get started, but they're still looking nice and healthy, so I'm quite pleased with that. These are the cutting leaf celery, or green celery soup, whichever you prefer to call it. Looking rather bedraggled because I have been pruning and using it, clipping it back when it gets a little too tall and using the leaves already, but they're all still pretty good, healthy looking plants, and once I get them in the hoop house, I know they will take off. They did last year anyway. These are seeds that were sent to me by Natalie, one of my subscribers in Montreal, Quebec. She sent me 2 different colors, I guess, of the same pepper. They're called mini peppers. It's a sweet pepper, I presume. And she sent both red and yellow, and I just pinched a few of the seeds of each variety and put them in here about a week ago, and they're certainly germinating well, but it'll be a bit of time yet before I have to break those out and put them into individual pots. I'll be interested to see how they make out in the hoop house this summer. This is the flat of columbine. Seed were sown, I can read on the tag there, February 27th. They're a relatively slow growing plant. There are 24, I believe, in that tray, 24 cells, and I think every one took. They're kind of wispy in places, but they're all growing quite nicely, so again, I don't think I'll have to repot them into anything else until I'm able to get them out in the hoop house and maybe grow them on in larger pots out there before I put them in the garden. This is one of my 3 sunberries, and they have outgrown the light system here. I'm in the process of house cleaning, and as soon as I finish the living room tomorrow, these are going down to go in front of the glass door, and hopefully I'll prune them back some too. I'm amazed at how fast these things grow, and what I want to show you here is this thing is in bloom. I guess that's not in focus. If I go in too close, it doesn't focus. There are several blossom clusters on each one of them, and I haven't been doing anything. I probably should be tweaking them or whatever to see if I can get them to fertilize, or maybe I should be just cutting them off. I don't know. But they've already decided to bloom in the house. These are the 3 varieties of pansies, and they have been potted in this tray for over a week, 10 days or so maybe. They didn't all make it transplanting. That one there is empty, and that one sort of looks like it's dying off, but most of them are making it, I guess, and they have developed much nicer since they've been in their own little space here. Pansies are very slow to get going, I recall from last year when I grew them. Mine were later blooming because I didn't get them started. Well, this year I started them earlier than I did last year, so hopefully by the time the good weather arrives, I'll have them ready to go out in the garden somewhere. And this is one of the 2 cucamelon or mouse melon vines. I keep expecting to see blossoms come on these, but I haven't seen any start of that yet, but they're still looking quite healthy. And surprisingly enough, it's not too much of a tangle. I do try to separate them out occasionally, but I keep thinking with all their little hold-on things there that they're going to grab a hold of each other and become impossible to separate them, but so far that hasn't happened. And last but not least, this is the achocha vine, looking a bit unsettled because they have been, like the cucamelon before, it's been down on the lower shelf, and I've just moved it up here to take some pictures of it. And it has produced a blossom, a female blossom. There's a little something behind it there. I don't have any idea if it requires the male blossom to... They all seem to be female blossom buds on the length of it. I don't know if I can get zoomed in to show you one of those or not. I've lost the one that I thought was the best to look at here. Where that went. We'll try. It's probably not in focus. I'm using my Canon camcorder here, and it has a weird focal range, but there are several of these blossom buds on it, and I don't see male blossoms, so I'm not sure if they're self-fertile or if they require a male blossom. The eggs have been in the incubator for a week, and I just finished candling them. I thought I'd like to show you what you see when the egg is fertile. Hopefully you can make that out, the veins and things inside of the egg, blood vessels. That's an egg that's been incubated for 1 week, and a good sign that it's viable. I started with 23 eggs, and when I did the candling this morning I found 3 that just weren't starting to develop at all, so they weren't fertile, I guess. So I'm down to 20, and they all have blood vessels in them like that. There is, I think maybe 2 that I'm a little suspicious of, like growth might have stopped because there aren't as many blood vessels as there are in the rest of them. But anyway, I will candle them again in a week's time. I think I need a full-time referee. The 5 Chanticleer roosters that have spent the winter quite content together inside of their own coop are now out with all of the ladies, and believe me, they are showing their oats here. There's one inside of the red coop where it doesn't belong. It's got some poor Chanticleer up on the roost in there trying to talk her down. If anyone in the Atlantic region is interested, I have at least 3 Chanticleer roosters that I will be disposing of, giving away, selling cheaply, whatever, sometime. There we go again. I got to separate these two. You stop it. Be good. Don't. No fighting. Be good. No, you leave them alone. 4 of them are really good-looking roosters. One I will definitely keep because it has a problem with its toes. I don't know if it was something that happened after it was hatched and I didn't notice it, or if it was that way when it hatched out. But it has bent toes, and so nobody would want to use that for breeding. But I'll keep it as a pet, and I'll keep one other for breeding purposes, and the other 3 I'm going to want to find new homes for this late spring, early summer. So if there's anybody in the region that's interested, send me a message and we can talk about it. I'm not after a lot of money for these things. I just want to, there he is, in where he doesn't belong. So I like this hen house better. There's women in here. As you can see, I still have snow, but enough of it has melted out that this is the 2nd evening in a row that the girls have been out having a great time. I don't know if they're finding anything to eat, but they're certainly enjoying digging in the soft dirt again and getting outside of that coop. Their yard has been open for several days now, so they've been out getting in their yard, but they love to get out and roam around, have a little more freedom. The white ones are looking kind of dingy this time of year after being closed up in the coop all winter, but they will soon find places to take dust baths and they'll be as white as snow. Well, I think that's probably all that I will show on these at this particular time anyway. Thank you very much for watching.